Hey guys, welcome to another TastyTeaTalks Walk and Talk. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm going to continue talking about my journey to single motherhood. So today I want to talk about why I believe I didn't choose single motherhood chose me. So let's get on this journey and see how I ended up here, as a single mom. Let's get going, guys. So yeah, why did single motherhood choose me? Why do I refer to my single motherhood as single motherhood chose me, I didn't choose it? Because no, I didn't choose it. I set out in my life to be married. I wanted to be a housewife, I wanted to have a husband, and I wanted to have kids, and I wanted to bring them up with the dad right by my side as we moved along this life journey. It started off that way, and I thought, yeah, it's going that way. But by God, did I not know that that was not going to be the outcome of my journey? I had no clue at the time, but now I know. Because that's why I'm having this conversation about my journey to single motherhood. Okay, when I realized that that situation that I dreamed of all my life, of being a mother, being a wife, building a home, wasn't going to be the end result for me. And actually God had other plans. Even though it took me to have to learn some harsh lessons along that way to get to this point, in the end, the results were achieving a lot more than I ever expected to achieve with what I thought single motherhood would be about initially, as to why I didn't seek it out myself. So like I said, initially I did get married and started off life exactly how I expected to be. A married woman, a husband, building a home, then trying to have kids, and then growing with kids. And the other thing I wanted to achieve was becoming an interior designer. That was one of my big dreams, an interior designer and a house flipper. That's what I had dreams of. As it went on, the circumstances within the marriage were showing up that that may not be what this situation's gonna be for me. Even with kids in the picture, I was realizing what my idea of wife and kids and family wasn't appearing on the surface, and challenges weren't overcoming easily. That was my first marriage. So I learned that, wow, if two people are not in this together, this is never going to work out. So yes, I had to learn that you're in it on your own as long as two people are never working together to achieve this marriage, to become what a marriage is meant to be. So yeah, that happened. Moving forward, those situations only got from bad to worse, and tried to do the best I could do with what I had. But no matter what, the one lesson that I learned while I was in that marriage was, if you are not in a marriage alone, you cannot be married to yourself and grow a relationship and a family by just yourself. Like, if I enter into a marriage, I expect not only myself, but the other person to be playing their role too. And I've said this before, when that relationship did end, still after that, I still believe that, no, we both had these kids, we're both gonna work together, we're both gonna try to be cordial co-parents together. And again, we have our issues, our personal issues. I understand that we have our personal issues. Once you are a parent, your personal issues are put to the side, because no matter what we went through, we have to understand the kids deserve both parents in their life. And that was my morals, and that's what I stood by, and that's what I went with. And it was an amazingly crazy struggle to co-parent with people who, it was more about proving something. But still with that, it never stopped me from saying, no, go ahead. As long as I don't harm my kids, I'm okay with that. So yeah, I continued moving on with that. And it was difficult. I had to do what I had to do for the kids' sake. And that was it. That's what I stood by. So yeah, that co-parent arrangement went on for quite a few years with its harsh struggles, but it went on, and eventually that came to its end. And how that came to its end is why I'm saying that single motherhood chose me and I didn't choose it. So no matter what I tried and how much we both tried, we tried as hard as I guess we were going to be able to, but no matter what, people's personal choices and what people chose to do with their life was going to catch back up on them. And with things in your life catching back up on you, choices you made, it's going to get to a point where something that you may have thought you were going to still be able to have was not going to be an option for you anymore. So ultimately, the reason I say single motherhood chose me was because no matter how hard I tried, he tried, we tried, the choices that someone made for their own personal life were about to catch up on them, and that was going to take them out of the realm of being a parent altogether. So no, single motherhood wasn't something I set out for. I never attempted to do anything that would push that other parent out of the kid's life or stop them from talking or having a relationship with them. I did what I could do to the best of my abilities. What situation was handed to me without my consent, and I tried to make it work. And no matter how hard, it wasn't going to work. And ultimately, that parent was not going to be allowed to be a parent. And I believe that was only by the will of God, that God had said he is not going to be a parent, and this is how it's going to end. So yes, the decision had already been decided by God. At some point, he was never going to be a parent. Now, they were never going to be parents. I was going to be a parent. I never set out for this. I never done things in order to get me closer. I was actually very afraid of being a single mom. Thought it was a bad thing to have kids and be married and get a divorce. I never wanted these things. I never set out to have these things. So there was a lot of embarrassment for me when those things didn't work out for me. So I wasn't in a position to be like, oh yeah, I'm just loving this single mom life. I'm loving having kids and my marriage breaking down. I never loved any of it. Was quite embarrassed in the beginning when it happened, and I had to learn to understand that happened to me. So yeah, it was more about accepting that just because something didn't work out in your dream or the way you wanted it to, doesn't mean that you're a bad person or you should feel bad about now being a divorced woman and a single mom. So it was something that I had to embrace, and I never wanted to. At least if I had co-parenting, that would have made me feel a little bit more happy about my situation, and that didn't last. So at some point in this whole situation, I was going to end up being a single mom, and as it was going to get closer to that, God was taking me on a journey of acceptance. So I was going to get to a point where I had gone through enough things that I would have been more happy and more content with accepting being a single mother and moving forward with it in the way that God's built me up to be able to take that role on. And it's not an easy role, so I'm giving so much credit to parents and single parents, because being a parent is a journey within itself. But being a single parent, a single mother, a single father, all power to you people. Keep going, people. Let's support one another on this journey of learning and growing and developing and trying to do the best we can do, because that's all we will ever be doing as parents and as single parents. All we will ever be doing is the best we can do. Now, if this was another time, I would not be smiling about being a single mom. Trust me, I would have been hanging my head low and not wanting to be seen or heard. I would be somewhere hanging my head in shame. But no, the journey I was taken on was a very, very meticulously planned out by God, because I was in a co-parenting relationship for quite a long time. But no matter how long I was in that situation for, it was never going to be. It was only going to lead up to the point where what God had chosen, and that was for me to be the parent to my kids without the other people involved. My hope was that they would stay involved and we would actually learn some great lessons from bringing up children and seeing how amazing we can do with them. It's not how it worked out. So yes, that is me just telling you a little bit of how I became a single parent and how I believe I never chose single motherhood. Single motherhood chose me, and this is the amazing position I am enjoying having. I'm very blessed to have, and will do the best I can do with the way God has set it out for me. So that's all I have for today, guys. I'm gonna have plenty more stories to tell about my single motherhood journey and need plenty of advice along this journey, but that's how it began. So yes, I'm gonna let you guys go, but make sure to join me on another walk and talk where we will have interesting conversations. So you guys enjoy your day or evening wherever you are. Join in again. Bye for now, guys.